body language, I wasn't feeling the song, but Big Sean, bro, when you said, "Don't take your clothes off, take your problems off," I'm using that. I don't give a fuck. I am using that. Hopefully tonight. Be like, baby, no, don't take your clothes off, girl. Take your problems off. That is some smooth ass shit. Couldn't believe that. I was like, who the fuck is that? I was expecting Sophie, and I'm like, that's not Sophie. Anyway, sorry.
Dead End Hip Hop album review, Big Sean, Detroit 2. Before we get into the review, I just want to say thank y'all everybody for the continued support. Support your boys with everything that we do. Go check out the Patreon. If y'all want to hear our opinion on all of the newest, latest shit, all of them topics that you be wanting us to cover on Dead End Hip Hop, guess where you can find it? Is the Myke still on? We also got a Patreon over there. Make sure you go support that Patreon. We also have a show called The League, where me, Ken, and Nick, we are part of a Madden league. We're also going to create a 2K league, and pretty much we just chronicle our journey through that league. It is called The League. It is on the Dead End Sports Podcast feed, in conjunction with Dead End Gaming. Thank you, B. We would like to do this shit full time. The only way we can do that is through your support. So tell somebody, like it, watch it, and we appreciate it. Big Sean, Detroit 2. So I was doing a little bit of research on Big Sean, just kind of, get a little bit of a bio. Obviously, we know where he is. Whoa. Self-titled album. However, I didn't know this, but I'm also not surprised. Every single one of Big Sean's albums has debuted in the top Billboard 200. Every single one of them.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah, I would expect
that. And that's why I said I wasn't necessarily surprised, because like pretty much on every single one, he's had like a major fucking hit that just blows up the radio. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't think he's had one. I don't think he has that on this though. Like, which song is? And I know nobody here really listens to the radio like that. I'm pretty much the only one. But I haven't really heard anything on the radio from this album. But I want to start the review here. B, would you say Big Sean, outside of Eminem don't count. Eminem is in the category by himself. Is Big Sean the biggest, most popular artist since Eminem from Detroit?
Yeah, you can probably put Danny Brown in there, but I think more folks that don't really, in Detroit, that don't really mess with underground like that would probably be like, well, yeah, Danny Brown, cool, he a little weird, whatever, but they seem to embrace Big Sean a lot, a whole lot. So yeah, he's definitely, outside of M and Royce, Big Sean is definitely like,
he's that guy. And I really feel since Dark Sky Paradise, and it might be an album before that, but I really feel on that album is where Big Sean pretty much won me over, where I'm like, okay, I removed the corny label all the time to just very few times. You know what I'm saying? And that album really made me like start listening to him more so like the spitter that he continues to claim that he is. And this album, I think it was a step up. I think this like shit, like Big Sean just continues to get better, and that first run of Why Would I Stop the Intro, that shit was dumb hard. Lucky Me, that was a really good track. Then
the second half.
Huh?
The second half. That's the one with the beat switch?
Yeah.
I like the beat switch more than the first part. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like the content, you know what I'm saying, where he's just pretty much saying, all of the shit that he's been through, and it's made him who he is. But then it gets to my favorite track on this motherfucker. Y'all already know why. Deep Reverence. God damn. That nigga Nipsey. It's so interesting, man. Like his energy just pours through that fucking track, man. Like it really does. And Sean, I feel like Sean had to go like 2 verses just to even keep up with the presence that Nipsey brought to that track. You know what I'm saying? But another dope song.
Do you think that was the finished verse from Nipsey?
Well, I know that Nipsey did this while he was alive. Nip is different with his song structures and how he flows and how long or short that he sometimes makes a verse. So I want to say yes, but I don't know. But
why do you ask that? Why do you ask that question?
Because Big Sean had a longer verse, So I didn't know if he was trying to stretch the song out, and that he only had, if Nip had plans to come back and finish it up or do a whole another verse or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the story behind it. I just know that I heard this song a couple months ago when Hit Boy was doing like a battle thing with somebody else, and he played that song, and everybody was like, "Yo, play that shit again." Like, and it won him that battle. Cause
I think Hit Boy. Speaking of Hit Boy, I think he's like one of the executive producers for this album.
he is.
He kind of
is.
Yeah, handled.
Can't give this man Hit Boy his motherfucking credit, dog. Because shit, the shit that he gave Sean on this,
He produced these songs?
He produced a lot of
He
them.
produced a lot of.
I was looking for the
Jordan.
track list.
I know No
I
ID
knew he was
produced
in-
one. I know No ID. I mean, other producers kind of had their hands.
But
in
he
it,
did most of them.
But
Hit
he
Boy
did
did most of
Yeah,
them.
Hit Boy was the overseer for the production for this album.
He did a better job on this than he did on Nas.
but not Hit Boy did his thing. I think Big Sean did his thing. I think it's difficult, honestly, man. 21 fucking songs, man. Like, Sean does have shit on here that I'm just like, nah, I take that off. And here's the thing, like in years past, in other projects, I'd be like, hell no, this is hella weak. This shit wasn't that bad, but it's just like, my nigga, like, we don't really need 20 fucking one songs. Like, it's just, because here's the thing, I just think it's extremely difficult to give heat, to give that fire for 21 fucking songs. There's gonna be shit that people are just gonna skip. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of what happened here. You know what I'm saying? For me, but overall, I think it was a good project. The features, I think they did their thing for the most part. Like, I liked Wale on that track, Guard Your Heart.
Wale fucking killed.
Yeah,
that.
and Wale's been on
did.
the streak lately with features and shit, man. Like, what was that project, Ken, that we reviewed?
The Imperfect Storm.
And Wale had a feature on that. Oh no, it was Wale's project. And Wale did his thing, man. Like, Wale's really been on the run lately. So I like also how he kind of brought, I guess, the story of Detroit. I guess he tapped into other people, how they tapped into the vibe of Detroit. Well, like Erykah Badu, Dave
this is not his
Chappelle.
first time doing it, because this is this that's why it's called Detroit too. Cause
Yeah.
the first one was this.
He did it
It was a
before?
mixtape.
Oh, I don't remember.
He had a Jeezy tell a story, Common tell a story about Detroit, and Snoop Dogg tell a story.
Yeah,
about
unless we reviewed it, I wouldn't have listened to it. So I don't think we reviewed it, did
it.
we?
No, we didn't. We didn't
Okay.
review it.
So yeah, this was new to me.
So when I saw the
Okay.
track list and saw the story, I said, okay, yeah, this is a recurring thing that he did
Okay.
in
All
the in the first Detroit mixtape.
But
Yeah, I'm with you. The first 3 tracks was definitely like, oh, okay, I think we're in for a good ride here. Because of course, just like you, when I saw 21 tracks, I was like, oh damn, hour like. I mean, I know he probably got a lot to say. He been through a lot or whatever, but I was just like, dude, I don't know. Especially off the previous release that we've been reviewing for him, everything we pretty much review is like it's been like a no. So I'm just like, man, 21 tracks. But like I said, it started off, Why Would I Stop was dope. Lucky Me, I like the entire track. I mean, even the beat switch was definitely a plus, Ken. But I mean, I like the fact that it was a lot of different various productions on here, and Big Sean was playing with some different flows on this one. I think a lot from what I remember from the past projects that I don't remember him doing. But for this one, I feel like he was playing with flows a lot more. On this one, yeah, and introspective too. I think he definitely, from what I remember, again, I don't remember him pouring out himself a lot on tracks like he did on this album. I feel like Harder Than the Demons was dope. Even the joint with Nipsey, where he was talking about the beef with I guess supposedly beef with Kendrick, and how they kind of just squashed it off a phone call. Which is it just proves the fact that like all these rappers that this beef and shit is whack, because all it takes is a phone call. Just think about like if Pac and Big would have probably talked, or like like just simple shit like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So B, to your point, I don't think that Sean has been as like this many tracks introspective, but he has been on the album.
He has, okay.
It's just
yeah,
not this much.
Okay.
So yeah, you could definitely
that's
tell
what it
he
is.
has shit on his chest that he wanted to get off.
Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, so then it got to like the middle part of this album is the part that I kind of don't really care for that much. Like I didn't, Body Language, that's definitely a Detroit thing. He sampled a soul singer named Dale called Soulful Morning. So that's like an old 90s, that's a 90s ode to Detroit soulful sound, which the sample was cool. I mean, the song that I didn't really care for the song that much. I just liked it because it was nostalgic, Detroit nostalgic, really. About that track. But yeah, Heart of My Demons was cool. Everything was missing. I didn't really hear Dwelle on that much. He probably was doing background
I was
vocals.
gonna ask you.
Yeah, that was the introspective joint. It was cool, but I felt like it was just something.
You heard him?
He was singing. What are you guys talking about? You didn't
It
hear him.
sounded like that was Big Sean doing all the singing.
Yeah.
That was Big Sean singing?
Yeah.
Are y'all sure?
I'm a
Dwelle
Dwelle
had-
fan. Yeah, I know
Maybe
Dwelle.
Dwelle
when I
had
hear
an
him.
off day. You sure that wasn't him?
Yeah, no.
I assumed that was him singing.
that
Why
was
would
Big
Big Sean bring Dwelle on a song and then sing himself?
like and just had like he's kind of like I heard Dwelle. He was more like in the background.
Yeah, he
though.
did like some harmonies. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what he was doing.
Oh, I thought that
Yeah.
was him singing the whole time.
man.
I did think it sounded off, and I was going to ask y'all
Yeah.
if his voice wasn't really hitting like it usually hits.
No, that wasn't Dwelle.
That's
wasn't Dwelle.
weird.
Huh. Like you talked about before, Feefo, I definitely enjoy Guard Your Heart. That's definitely one of my favorite tracks on here. Yeah, I like that joint. Full Circle was cool. That's another one of them introspective joints. I think I was like, man, I never heard Big Sean like rap like this before. Like I said, the tracks I didn't care for, yeah, Time and I didn't like the Young Thug and Travis Scott features. I ain't like Respecting Lithuanian. I didn't care for those
I
tracks.
could have done without Lithuanian.
Zen the Fuck Out. I didn't care for that.
Crazy.
Even though his flows was definitely, that's another example I was talking about how like Big Sean was playing with different flows. I like he was playing with flows on Zen the Fuck Out. I don't, for something about that beat, I didn't care for the beat that much. But
Oh, Migos shit.
The Baddest is another Detroit OD Detroit. I mean, because back in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, he used to have like a lot of little techno sounds and stuff. So they used to always use the Godzilla joint at clubs. So whenever you hear that, dun, 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 and like I have to play y'all a sample of it, but it's like fast paced. It's the techno sounding. So for him doing the ode to that joint, The Baddest, and Big Sean was fucking flowing on that shit.
Yeah, I like the beat on that one.
Yeah, Big Sean was flowing his ass off on that shit, but that was another one of those nostalgic things where I was like, yo, this shit fucking bumps. And he fucking took it back to fucking DJ Assault tapes and shit like that. That shit was dope as fuck. Don Life was dope. I thought Lil Wayne and Big Sean was definitely killing that shit on that joint. And the Human Nature sample. You can never go wrong with the Human Nature sample. Friday Night Cypher. That's another interesting joint. That was when I saw that shit, I was like, whoa, okay, what's gonna happen here? Because it's really like it's multiple different styles Detroit artists in Detroit. Like y'all always hear me talk about the Black Milks, the Guilties, and the Elzais and all that stuff. But yeah, you got Cash Boy, Doughboy Cash Outs, you got the Payrolls, you got the
T Grizzlies.
the newer version, T Grizzlies, Sada Babies, and some of that stuff I like is okay, but it's not perfectly my style, so that's why y'all never hear me mention these guys that's on this record. But it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting mix. I'm glad the beat switched up a lot because that's one thing I was hoping for was like, okay, these guys got a lot of different flows. I hope we get some beat switches on these tracks, which we did. I'm glad Bodie James was flowing off of that "We Gon' Make It" sample. I thought that was an interesting flip. I like fucking Cash Kid verse though. I like that shit. What he said, put a body on the ratchet. I feel like Dr. Miami. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious, man. Like Cash Kid was dope. Payroll was good. Royce, of course, Royce gonna be fucking Royce. And the fact that he flowed off that type of beat. You know who else who I enjoyed on this too? This track is like a fun track. Was I like Sada Baby's verse.
I did.
Because right before Royce went on, because he was between Big Sean and Royce.
You gotta listen to Sada Baby.
I listened to him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
No.
He just tried to try you like you ain't from Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand why you asked me because I'm not a huge fan of it, but I still be tapped in. Like
Yeah,
because I know it's different sides of Detroit. My only takeaway from this track, I like it. It was definitely a fun track, a fun Detroit track to hear different MCs flowing and shit. I wish they would have got like someone like Nolan Ninja or like someone like Boog Brown, like kind of make it super underground and mainstream at the same time. I think that would have been dope as fuck. But the people that's on the track, I think they made it work. I mean, they made it work for what it was. I'm fine with how it turned out.
And Danny Brown was missing.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he couldn't make it, or maybe he didn't want to be on it. Maybe he was there because Big Sean did say it was a lot of people that was there in the recording. He said Elzai was there.
Okay.
Shit, then why didn't I give him a verse? You could
don't
have made
know.
the song longer.
Yeah, I know, right? Outside of Sob and T Grizzly, Payroll, Detroit legend. He's Detroit legend. Cash Kid, Detroit, Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why he put some of these guys on here because people be like, oh, I never heard of these guys. Let me go check them out. He just kind of putting them on or whatever.
That's cool of him to do.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I get it. I see why. Of course, me personally, I'm like, oh man, put this. But I'm like, okay, this is Big Sean. So I know he's cool. He's tapped into a lot of stuff in the city of Detroit. And then I think the closing track with Dom Kennedy, I think Still I Rise was definitely a good finisher. I think for me, so like I said, the beginning of the album was good. The middle is kind of like, there's some skips here, but from Feed all the way to the end of the album, that was a run for me. That was a hell of a run. Feed, The Baddest, Don Life, Friday Night Cypher, and then Still I Rise. I think he finished the album pretty solid. And I can honestly say this is like my first Big Sean album that I actually can like kind of go back and like listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be like, okay, I actually enjoy this. I feel like production wise, I feel like this is his best album production wise. As far as beats, there's a lot of beats on here that I enjoyed a lot. That was just showing the fun side of Big Sean, and he showed his serious side. I don't know. I feel like this is his most complete project that he's made that I like, me personally, out of everything we reviewed in the past. So.
I would agree with you, and I got
that's saying a lot
that
compared to
what Big Sean has not made it through Dead and Hip Hop.
Hell no, that's saying a lot. So
yeah.
But it's still it's like I said, the songs that were bad, it was still some bad shit, some bad lines and shit.
But I think if he would have condensed it to like 17, like we
of
wouldn't
course,
even say that.
of course,
you know
of
what
course,
I'm saying?
of course.
But B, I want to ask you about the slight controversy over the album cover with Clear Soul.
Oh yeah.
So do you think
what I missed?
Sean?
What happened?
So Clear Soul's last album cover was very similar, where
They
I can't
all
remember.
was levitated. They
Yeah,
was all four members was like floating, levitating or whatever. Yeah, y'all probably looking it up right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clear Soul Force, their last album, they was all in the air doing different poses and stuff, levitating.
And I know they felt a certain type of way. I seen them posted on social. Not like no super beef, nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like, really?
Yeah,
You know?
you see it. You see what you're talking about.
Yeah, no,
And
I see
people
it.
were saying it was a reach. I mean,
I don't think it's a reach.
yeah,
I'm trying to find it. What's the name of the album?
Forces be with
Forces
you. Forces with you.
Forces with you. Some people taking it as a big deal. Some people not. They just like, yes, it is what it is.
Here we go.
I think the first thing I noticed, like I said, when we were discussing whether or not to do it, I listened to it right after we made that decision, and very surface level. But I noticed the production like right away, like sonically. I'm like, oh, okay, this is Sean's on some different stuff. He's rapped over some of these harder type, trappy type beats before with Dark Sky Paradise. But yeah, I was like, there was a maturity, I want to say, in the sound and the diversity in the sound throughout the album that was noticeable. But yeah, I think I'm with you. Like the first 3.5 tracks, I thought were good. Like I said, I like the beat switch on Lucky Me a little bit better than the Lucky Me the first part. Yeah. But overall, I don't think it was at a detriment to the album. And then Wolves was good until Post Malone hopped his ass on there.
I agree.
And then I was just like, okay, here we go. It's over. It was good while it lasted. Body language was cool because I think the tempo and sound changed again. Then the story. Harder Than My Demons was cool. Everything was missing. Dwelle was missing on that one. So
Right, how you a feature but you're not there?
I know, man.
No, I'm really confused.
Because I was listening plenty of times, like, okay, I don't hear. Where's
yeah,
Dwelle?
man.
Like, yeah.
So Zen the first, fuck out, return back to that hard beat sound or whatever. Guard Your Heart came on. I was like, damn, sound wise, Big Sean is like, he's like doing the thing. Like I haven't really tapped into the content mostly, but Guard Your Heart, Anderson went back to doing what he does. He sounded like himself. Wale was good. I thought Big Sean was good. Respected was cool. Y'all already know Travis Scott, Lithuania. So let's just. I'm sort of mixed on Full Circle though, because initially I didn't like it, and then there was moments that I do like it, and I just don't know about that one. I love 2088 though, and I don't know if you guys heard that EP, but that EP that they did, I do like the sound of that. It's different when he's talking about doing the time. And so I was like, dang, here we go again. And that was right before Erykah Badu, she came on. And I do think the run B from At least it starts with you, Feed. But the baddest, like I said, I like the beat when you were talking about Don Life. Is okay. Friday Night Cypher was cool. I do not like Still I Rise.
Why was you messing with Still I Rise?
I don't know, man. I think maybe coming off the Cypher. I don't know. I can't even tell. I can't even give you a reason why.
Was he just like long-winded at that point? Or
Maybe.
shit before,
Maybe
even
exhausted because it's an
Even
hour
before
and 14
then,
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think it started well, but that middle part is like
It's some hit
it's
or
a
miss.
bit of a it's a bit of a struggle. And then if you're not like locked into the beats, then you got to listen to content. There's content here or there, but otherwise it kind of fades to the background. But I think if you're maybe a Big Sean fan, you'll like.
Oh yeah,
those a
Big
little
Sean
bit more
fans are loving this. They eating this up.
Big Sean, this was nicely done. This was nicely done.
That's what's
All
up.
right. I was not expecting that.
I wouldn't either.
I was really expecting some bullshit. This was actually a surprise, man. You know what? I still need to do it, but I almost texted my man Ryan Falcone because I was like, bro, am I liking a Big Sean album? That's what I said. What in the fuck? 2020 been on some weird shit. Weird shit. Motherfuckers dying left and right. All this crazy shit. And here come Big Sean. Why would I stop? I was like, damn, Big Sean is rapping. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And there wasn't a lot of wordplay or nothing, but just his technicalities and how he was flowing. I was like, damn, all right, Big Sean. But I was like, it's probably this one song, and then the rest of it's about to be some bullshit. Track 2, I was like, all right. Starts off, I'm like, all right, Big Sean's flowing. When that B switch hit and he pulled that whole Eminem flow out of his bag, I was like, when did you start doing this? What has happened over the past few years to make you rap like this? And yeah, it when it hit Wolves, I was just like, I'm not feeling this. And it was mostly because of Post Malone. I don't know why he gave Post Malone a whole verse. He kind of could have just gave him a hook. It doesn't seem like Post Malone's someone that needs a verse on a rap album. But that's just me. Now, Harder Than My Demons, that's going to be a big no for me, dog. No. I'm surprised y'all like that one. But that dancey beat, I don't think that's Big Sean's sound. But to be honest, I didn't hate much of this. I didn't like I said, I didn't like Harder Than My Demons. And I didn't like Time In.
You like Lithuania?
I didn't dislike it. That's the thing. The middle chunk from like Guard Your Heart, even though Wale,
His thing.
bro, this man say you wilding out because your product's gone. We mad because Eric Garner, Brianna, and Gianna's father's gone. Wale, Jesus Christ, that was an amazing verse. I didn't love the song, but I didn't think it was bad. And that's the big difference between this and typical Big Sean projects. When I hear a Big Sean project, usually I'm like, dude, this is bad. It's corny, and Big Sean's voice. But this project, there were only a couple of songs that I disliked. It was just some of this shit I feel like could have been left off, and it would have been better. While I didn't hate Respect or Lithuania or Full Circle or Feed, I didn't hate those songs. I didn't need them though. They could have easily been taken off, and this would have been a better project. I feel like it came back with The Baddest. The Baddest was nasty. No ID fucking murdered that song. And Don Life, what is happening? Like Lil Wayne, Jesus, man, that dude was rapping. Rapping. I got two guns. They both look alike. I call them Croc and Gator. Like, this motherfucker, man. Come on. I was like, that was the one where I was really giving the stank face. Like, damn, these features are really going in.
Him and Lil Wayne was going in.
I understand Big Sean's gone through some shit and he's really having, from what I could tell, he's having a hard time. And I know there was like a lyric about he got diagnosed with something. I can't remember what it was. I don't mean disrespect, but he had some kind of heart issue, and then he got put on magnesium or something, and he was talking about how that like Western medicine is. Yeah, that was an interesting line, but I assume there's some other shit going on. I don't keep up with Big Sean like that to know.
They lost a baby, and him talking about contemplating suicide and stuff. Like,
He also talked about a lot of him and Janae on this as well. Like he had a lot of little subtle shit.
I didn't pick up on most of that stuff because I don't know his background like that. I was just
Yeah.
I was reading the lyrics along, but I don't. If he's talking about Janae Aiko, unless he says her name, I don't fucking know.
Like the line that he said about like giving her like his mental and stuff like that. Like there was a line. You know, I'm not you, bro. I'm not you.
I believe you. I just don't.
He had a couple lines
know.
about Janae.
Friday Night Cypher I thought was cool. I am completely unfamiliar with 90% of the rappers on that song, so I didn't know any of them. And to be honest, some of them didn't really wow me like that, but I understand from what you're saying. I didn't even know they were all from Detroit. But from what you're saying, it makes sense. And I actually think that that's really dope that Big Sean did that because he didn't have to. Like at this point in the game, Big Sean does not need to prove shit to anybody. So I think that's I really respect the fact that he went and got some of these Detroit dudes and was just like, jump on this song. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really fresh. But yeah, this was not a bad project at all. It really was it was a good album. And like B said, this is the first Big Sean project where I would actually return to the songs. Typically, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm good in all of this. Now, I will say, Big Sean is not the type of artist that needs a double disc. He's just not. We don't need 2 albums of Big Sean.
No.
I don't think that was necessary. I understand he felt like he had a lot of shit to get off and a lot of things to talk about, but I feel like he was repeating himself on a couple of these songs. Like some of these songs really didn't have the impact that he may have intended for them to. But those are fairly minor gripes because I'm not a huge Big Sean fan. A huge Big Sean fan might be like, nah, I knew what he was talking about, and those songs need to be there.
They're eating this up.
So
they
all I
loving
can say
this.
is, man, hey, Big Sean, good fucking job.
You know what I think Big Sean's best move on this album was? You remember when he boy and like that whole
and I do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
like,
don't do that no more.
whole high pitched shit and then like he didn't have none of that. And I feel like that's a lot of what made a lot of his music corny, and he didn't do it. There was none of that on here.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know if that's a lot of what made his music corny. I
Well,
think
no.
music corny was them corny ass bars he used to say. I think this one,
100% too.
he sounded upset. He sounded distraught. He sounded hurt. I need someone to check on him, make sure he's okay. I'm not playing. Some of these songs, he sounded very, very, very depressed. Like, even though I didn't like the song Time In, he sounded like something was wrong.
No,
He didn't sound like his typical, he's not playful. He doesn't sound like his typical playful self.
And he's not rapping about like the materialistic shit. And I remember years ago, I can't remember which fucking review, but I was like, look, like, I want to know who you are. Like, I love that about artists. Like, give me a glimpse into what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
Give me a glimpse of Detroit from your perspective.
Yeah.
And he
So
fucking did that. And he
That's what I'm
executed.
saying. I don't remember him doing this like he did on his album. Like when I was
Not
listening
like
to this, I'm
this.
like, I don't remember him like being this mature or like expressing himself this much in an album from his previous stuff.
He's settled in. I think he's in a, he went through a lot of shit, as you guys documented earlier, but I think he's settled into his place in hip hop. And I think that the things that he went through may have given him a sort of awakening. And, and I think, like I said, in terms of the sound, I feel like there's a lot of maturity here from Big Sean that we didn't really get before. And a sense of unification, like, right, instead of trying to create this division among the different type of rappers in Detroit, let's bring all of the type of rappers in Detroit for the most part together. And I'm going to use my place of privilege in hip hop to kind of put some light on the rappers that won't necessarily always get that type of shine. So I thought, kind of going back to your point, Myke, that was a really good thing for him to do because, he didn't have to do that. And oftentimes, at least in the past, when I was growing up, you had that in hip hop where this one faction was beefing with this one faction in the city or outside of the city. And I think it's dope that he's kind of going away from that and that they're just trying to be together and, everybody kind of lift each other up and push each other forward.
Favorite tracks, give me Why Would I Stop, Lucky Me, Deep Reverence. Give me Guard Your Heart. Give me The Baddest. Give me Don Life. There's a lot of songs. Still I Rise.
Friday Night Cypher, of course. The Baddest, of course. Detroit nostalgia right there. Guard Your Heart. Lucky Me, Deep Reverence.
Favorite tracks: Why Would I Stop, Deep Reverence, Guard Your Heart, Friday Night Cypher, and The Baddest.
Why Would I Stop, Lucky Me, Friday Night Cypher. I'm gonna say Zen the fuck out because I really like that beat. And I guess I'll go with Guard Your Heart. No, I take that back. I'm gonna go with The Baddest. I forgot. I really like that one. Whoops.
All right, Big Sean, if you're watching, this is the project that I asked from you some years ago. I wanted to know what made you who you are. I wanted to know Detroit from your perspective, and you hit on every fucking thing with this project in regards to that. So I appreciate that. I feel like it's taken you like a whole nother level as an artist, you know, and hopefully you keep on this trajectory because this is a damn good project, bro. This is a damn good project, and I know that you coming through the damn Dead End Hip Hop Chamber has not been really good, pretty much for your entire career. I know there's been some projects here that we loved or that we liked, but this is definitely a very good album, and I want to see how you continue from here. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you really gave me a glimpse into who you are, man, and like what made you who you are, and your moms, and you know, growing up in Detroit and putting Detroit niggas on your fucking cypher track. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking dope. That is to me what true artistry is in hip hop, and I think you mastered that on this project. So I appreciate it.
Big Sean, if you're watching, hey, look, good job on this album, man. Good job on making this this sequel a lot better than the original. Than your original Detroit mixtape. Like I mentioned before, man, you was doing a lot of stuff with different flows that I've never heard you do before, man. And also, shout out to you for all the work that you do in the city of Detroit. I mean, I know, you know, you are definitely one of the Detroit artists that really put on for your city, and you rep the city like to the fullest, and you do a lot of community work for the city of Detroit. So that's dope, man. So shout out to you for that, for always doing that. I think I've said that in previous album reviews. But yeah, this album, man, hey, look, you did a good job. I gotta give you props, bro. I gotta give you props, man. And that Friday Night Cypher, that's dope as hell that you had the city of Detroit in there and putting people on that probably wouldn't even know about those certain artists, man. So I think that's lovely, man. I think, hey, keep doing your thing, man. I think if this is where you're gonna be at, then yeah, I'm interested to hear what you do on your next projects now, man. Now you finally, after like what, fucking 4 or 5 albums, it's like, damn, you really got me like interested in seeing what you're gonna do in your next project, man. So keep up the good work.
Big Sean, if you're watching, job well done. I think this was a well put together album. I like the diversity in sound, the content as well, and the promotion of togetherness through the actions that you display with some of the rappers that you linked up with for the Friday Night Cypher. So I think all of that is dope, and yeah, and everything be said about everything that you do for the city of Detroit. You know, I think that's something that isn't really discussed enough, and we need to start highlighting good things that rappers do in the community. Back to the music, man. Yeah, I think this was you like putting it all together. And, you know, it may have taken you going through some stuff, experimenting along the way, you know, in public, but, you know, it feels like you're in a good comfort zone. So yeah, good job.
Big Sean, I won't even front. I have not enjoyed your previous work. I was very confused about the hype that you were getting. Had you been putting out content like this the entire time, I would have understood. I don't want to make it seem like, well, if you're not doing what I want you to do, then you don't deserve the success. I'm glad you're successful, man. I'm glad you're making this money, and I'm glad you're turning around and putting it back into the community. That's dope. But just artistic-wise, I feel like this is your best work. You were talking about yourself. You were talking about the people around you, and you were doing it in a way that was easily accessible, easily digestible, easily enjoyable. Your rap skills on here were shining, bro, shining. I am curious to see what you do after this. I hate that you had to go through something that sounded very personal, but also sounded detrimental. I hate that you had to go through that to put this out. So I don't want to wish that upon you again for your next project, but I am curious to hear what you do next because your rapping ability on here was just fucking stellar. So great job, man. And I truly do hope that things are getting better for you, man. So yeah, good job.